Have you ever seen the ice castles, a popular attraction that's taken Midway by storm? Well, they're not returning for the 2025-2026 season, and this is a tragedy. That's not to say this is a goodbye, but it's a decision grounded in growth. And it's something our guest, who is the founder of this program, is going to join us. But I think I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes talking Brian Christensen out of canceling the ice castles for the next year. Brent, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi, Greg. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So I love it. I love the event. What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, tell us people who haven't experienced that. Tell us what it is.
Okay, so Ice Castles is it's an event we put on every winter, we basically grow these ice structures with caves and tunnels and slides. They've kind of taken, early on they took on the nickname Ice Castles, and so that's what we decided to call our company. But it's kind of a natural. If you're going in an ice castle, it kind of feels like a natural, like you're inside of a frozen cave or waterfall or something. You have a lot of cascading ice, but on top of that, you have lights and slides and things like that. And hot chocolate. So.
And you have artists and individuals that help you put these together, because they really are art, Brent. I've seen them. They're beautiful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I will be the first to say that Mother Nature is the artist, because we do a lot of work and we do a lot of planning and designing, but the true beauty, happens at night when the water is running. So, we have a team of on each site. We'll have a team of about 20 builders working, starting typically end of October, setting up, and then whenever it gets cold, we start freeing water.
So what's happened that's caused you to suspend it for a year?
So we've had a rough couple of years there in Midway, and a lot of it has to do. Our standards are pretty high from what we expect to present to the public. And the last couple of years, first of all, it's been a short season. Midway was very short this last year, just 13 days, I think, and from a dollars and cents point of view, that's tough. We can't. It's tough to do that, and we have other sites that did well, so we're okay. But so that's the first thing. Second part is we've kind of, in my opinion, we've kind of taken it hasn't been as amazing as we'd want it to be. If you went to one of our other sites where it was really cold, they are pretty breathtaking. I mean, a lot higher and taller, and we could stay open longer and accommodate more people. So those are a couple of the factors that it's like we don't want to we don't want people to come up and say, oh, that wasn't really that. We don't ever want that. I mean, it happens. You get thousands of people. There's going to be a few. But we want the overwhelming majority of people that visit to come away just saying this was breathtaking, this was awesome, that kind of verbiage. And if we're struggling to grow that thing to where we can even get some tunnels, that's tough. So we've been working on some different methods, and it's kind of tricky to go into it because there's a lot that goes into it. But where we can be a little bit more weather resilient, get a little bit more length, even if it is a little warmer. And we want to get those kind of refined and come back next year with something that is, just more off the charts. That's what we're looking for, is people to come away and say, I have nothing to say other than that was just amazing. So that's the long and short of it. I'm going to say, and I think it's important because I've been kind of reading, comments and articles that come out and Facebook posts. We are coming back. My business partner and I, we live in Utah. My first ice castle that I ever built, the first ones I ever built were here in Utah. And it is our home. And we didn't make the decision lightly because I knew there would be, a lot of people come in from out of town. A lot of people plan family trips. And so knowing that, it wasn't an easy decision, but I think in the long run, it's for sure the best thing we can do.
Yeah. When you say, and we've only got about a minute left here. When you say our season is down to 13 days, what's a a season? Is that like when the temperature is
Yeah,
below a
that's
certain?
that's from the time that we can open our gates to the public and the time that we have to close for cosmetic and safety reasons. If it just gets to where it's dripping and the floor is,
Right.
it's just an unpleasant experience. So we normally like to have 4 or 5, 6 weeks would be amazing, but 13 days is pretty short.
That's a lot of work to do to get together, and then a lot of expense, and you've only got 13 days of public coming up there to enjoy it. Well, let's hope that things change, Brent. Go up the hill a little bit, just to get a little elevation will help. We'll make the hike. We'll make a.
I appreciate it.
Get up there,
Yeah,
okay?
Great. We are going to figure something out. So I just want people to not worry. We are not abandoning Utah. We're just taking a little break. We're resting the field for a season.
All right.
And coming back with a better plan. So.
Okay, well, Brent, we're going to have you on a year from today. Write it down.
All right.
And we're gonna get the details. Okay.
We'll have some great news for you.
Okay. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So let's pivot to Kevin Eubank. Kevin, did you hear that? We're suspending an incredible operation that we have here in Utah that we've had for years and years because we're just not getting the really, really cold temperatures that we've been used to.
Yeah, that's true, Greg. As you just heard from a very articulate business owner, it's hard to be adaptable to the ever-changing conditions of Utah. And it isn't just the weather, right? In this particular case, the warm winters have definitely been a driver for ice castles. But you watched how ski resorts have adapted, right? We've gone in and now have state-of-the-art snowmaking equipment. It allows them to prolong the season. It allows them to overcompensate when maybe the snow isn't naturally falling. And I'm sure the Ice Castle group is looking at all different kinds of options. You talked about it at the very end. A relocation to a colder spot might be ideal for them. Again, these are expansive ice castles, a lot of building, but possibly a dome, right? Being able to put something that could go over it to control what's going on condition-wise inside of it. And so there's probably tons of different options, but there's no question that the winters as of late have definitely been warmer and definitely in spots like Heber Valley, Park City area.
Yeah, seriously. And I remember, Kevin, when the whole snowmaking equipment started coming out, it was a long, long time ago, but that you had to get down to a certain temperature. And then technology got to the point where they could make snow at slightly higher temperatures. But at some point, you can't make snow. And at some point, you can't make ice castles. I mean, you've got to get at least to that freezing level. And that's getting getting hard.
That's exactly right. And it is getting hard as of late and in that location. So we got to be specific, right? That if they were up on top of Hidden Peak, they'd have no problem maintaining ice castles year round. Right. Obviously, location is everything. And so for that particular location, it's definitely been a challenge for the last several years. And likely with all the current modeling and weather patterns, it will likely continue to be a challenge. We just see a climate shift that's happened, and we see those warmer winters in those lower elevations. And it's really brought the snow levels up. Even at 500 feet makes a huge difference from our benches to our, mountain valley locations. 500 to 1,000 feet can mean the difference of, like you just said, freezing or not freezing temperatures.
And we've got an Olympics coming, but it's not next year, and it's not for several years. And as things are progressing, Kevin, I personally am a little bit concerned that we'll have. You never know what the snowpack's going to be like, and it seems to be in a position where it's not necessarily getting better. I mean, but we're going to have the Olympics. We're going to pull it off. It's going to be great, but we should have reason for concern with that too, shouldn't we?
No, Greg, because you can't control it and I can't control it.
That's true.
So there's no reason to go out to 2034 and start stressing out about whether or not we're going to have snow and all these other kinds of things. We have the equipment. We have the operational ability. We have the know-how. We can absolutely pull off the games even in a rough snow year or a dry year. So, no, I don't worry about that kind of stuff, but I do understand your worry. The greater climate shift that's happening, the greater warming that's happening, it's definitely having an impact. And not just in recreation, in everything, as we just saw from a small business owner. It's everything from tourism to, everything we do here. We're going to have to pivot. And hopefully we can pivot in the right direction that makes sense and capitalize on what we've been given, maybe not necessarily on what we've always had.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. And Kevin, I had a girlfriend once with a particularly cold heart, and I'm going to get her in touch with Brian Christensen and see if we can help him out with these ice castles. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. See you later.